All right, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. The red chestnut is a little too red. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I do DIYs, how-tos, room makeovers. Today, we are gonna take this frame that we built in our last video, and we are gonna turn it into the table that I originally wanted and ordered from Pottery Barn, and it was on back order, and I'm super bummed about that because it was a really cool table. But we waited and waited and waited, and it was on back ordered, and I am very impatient. I canceled that order, and we decided to make our own. So we welded this frame. We welded for the very first time. And now we are going to take this frame and we are going to turn it into something stunning. So stick around and see how we transform this metal frame into a stunning table. I'm so excited. Come on. All right, guys. Our first step is to sand it. We're going to sand off these little bumps right here. I'm going to be very careful so I don't damage the joint or the adhesion properties. I don't know if that's really a thing or not, but I'm going to be very careful around that area. But I do want a smooth finish because people are going to be touching it, and I don't want anybody to get any nicks or scratches in their hands because they touch something rough. I am going to just treat it like I would treat any other furniture redo. I'm going to sand it, prep it for paint, clean it, prime it, and then paint it. That's what we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to show you what it looks like before sanding and what it looks like after sanding. So you guys are grinding, actually. It's metal, so grinding. All right, guys, I'm just going to finish grinding all this and making it a smooth finish, and then I'll hop back on and we'll prime it. Okay, next up is just to wipe it down. All right, guys, next up is to pick our wood. Now, I have all this wood left over from the headboard project, but some of this stuff is not usable. Some of it has some gnarly edges here, even though I can cut them up. This straight edge here is more of a live edge right here. So yes, I can cut them on the table saw, and we all know how I feel about the table saw, but it can be cut on the table saw. However, there are a couple of pieces that are salvageable, that's the word, like this piece here, and then some other pieces over here. So I'm going to pick and choose which ones I want, cut off the ends so they can be nice and flush, and then we will cut them, and then we'll get them all butted up together so then we can make our pocket hole screws and get them all screwed together into a nice tabletop for our table. So let me put you down. All right, guys, I got all the wood selected, so now I'm going to go find my safety glasses, and we are going to cut on our miter saw. So this is where we're at now. We're trying to get the last piece. So let's see. This is the last piece. Okay, guys. Let's let the light get adjusted. There we go. So I picked out all the pieces for the table. Can you see it? Except for this little piece here. It is a little shy, but this is what I am going to be doing. We're going to take these over to the table saw, and these edges here, I'm going to take just a little sliver of wood off just to make it a little bit more flush. So when I put them together, they will sit nice and there won't be any of these little gaps here. See these little gaps? Although they're cute, they're very, very cute. I do like that look. I, though, want it to fit a little bit closer together. So we're going to take them over to this table saw, and we're just going to take a little sliver off of each piece. And then after we take a sliver off of each piece, then we'll cut this last one to the right size, because we are going to lose a little bit of wood. Why don't I just show you? So we just took a little bit off the side just to kind of clean it up. So when we put it all together, and I put my pocket hole screws and we can join them together, it will look very good. Our next step, so our 2 steps, is we are going to join these together with pocket hole screws, and then we are going to prime the metal tonight, so tomorrow we can finish up our table. Let's get started. Since these go in a very specific way, I'm going to take them out a very specific way. We are just going to let the primer dry, and that's all we need. All we need to do is prime the bare metal so it doesn't rust. All right, guys, next up is using our pocket hole jig. This is mine. It's a little bit bigger than your average size, but I got that because we're redoing the laundry room and I'm making some cabinets. So I wanted a Craig jig that could, that I could work with. But when you get your Craig jig, it's going to come with a couple of tools. It's going to come with a bit, and then it's also going to come with this tool here. And the reason why I'm showing you this tool is this is how we gauge the thickness of where we set our bit at. So let me show you. This is our wood. This is the gauge thickness. So it appears to be like right on that line at 3/4. Now when you get your Craig jig, it comes with instructions and it tells you all of this. So you're going to take this, you're going to set your size, then you're going to take your bit, and on your bit, you can use it in this little housing mechanism, but on your bit it has little numbers, and you just put this hole, line it up with the number, you use this little locking tool, and you have your bit set. And it's as easy as putting it in a bit into your drill, and there you have it set exactly where you need it. Then your next step is to identify the edge where you want the pocket holes. You line it up, you press it down, and you screw. Once you have all your pocket holes set, you line it up to the piece that you are going to be attaching it to, and then you screw it in. But first, I'm going to make all the pocket holes. All right, guys, we have all our pocket holes drilled. That took me maybe 5 minutes, so it's really fast. Now, we're going to join them together. Now, in your owner's manual or your book that you get, it tells you, and I'm sure on a website, it tells you exactly what length of screws you need for your material's thickness. Now, I'm not gonna fib to you guys. I'm not the biggest fan of these screws, these Craig screws, because number one, it's a square head bit, and it works. They're just, number one, they're expensive, and number two, I just don't like the square head bit. I do go and buy regular screws, and they work just fine, but I don't have 1-inch screws. So we're going to use the bit that they give us, and then we are going to put these together to make our tabletop. I'm so excited about this, guys. I can't tell you how excited I am. You know, going from buying a table to learning to weld to make a table, I am just beyond excited that, you know, I'm making this. So I hope this gives you a sense of empowerment that you can do this. Hi guys, and it's the next day. So what we're going to do today is to paint our primary color, which is going to be black. I decided to get the Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover paint and primer. It's for metal, wood, plastic, and more. I had the piece turned upside down so I can get the bottom part first, and then I will flip it over and do the top part after it dries. It says it dries to touch in 20 minutes, to handle it in 1 hour, and fully dry in 24 hours. And it says that I can apply a second coat or a clear coat within 1 hour or after 48 hours. So we will definitely spray this down upside down, and then we'll turn it up. Then we'll do 2 coats of our flat black. If you guys don't have one of these for your spray paint, I highly recommend it. It allows the paint to spray on so much smoother. I don't know how it does it, but it definitely does make a difference. So I will link this down below. I'll see if I can link this down below too, so you know what I'm using. I'll show you how I do this. Truth be told, I love the look of natural wood. I love the variations that wood gives off, the color, the hues. However, I have to match the existing side table and a coffee table. And in order to do that, those woods are stained. This red chestnut is the closest that I can find that matches the side table and the coffee table upstairs. So we are going to go with this. I'm using the Mid-Wax Wood Finishing Penetrating Stain. It is a oil-based paint. We will have to wait 24 hours to top coat it if I'm using a water-based top coat. So that's what we're going to have to do. You'll need your stain, stir stick. I just have a whole bunch of this chip brushes that I use for various things. and then a rag to wipe it off after you brush it on. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, the red chestnut is a little too red for me. So my solution always is, when something comes out a little bit darker than expected or too new and I want it to look a little bit old, I'll go ahead and finish staining. But what I'll do is I'll knock it back with a round of sandpaper. And that is kind of what I did so far, although it's still not dry yet. It takes 2 hours. I was getting a little impatient, so I went ahead and knocked it down with some sandpaper. I need to go back over it a little bit more because it's still, like I said, it's still a little wet. It's not dry yet. And I want to make it a little bit lighter. The red tone does match well, but I also need that yellow tone to come through too. I need a little bit more yellow than red. My hope is that I can knock it down some more with some sandpaper once it's done drying. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right guys, here it is. It is a little bit more red than I would like it to be. I need the yellow to come through a little bit more, like this area here. This is kind of what I'm going for. So I'll knock it down some more once it dries with some sandpaper, and it'll also make it not look so new. I don't want it to look new. I want it to look old and rustic. So that's my hint for you. If things look too new or the stain looks too dark, you can always sand it back a little bit. Again, truth be told, I like the raw wood look. So a stain look to me looks too new. We are almost done. We are almost to the home stretch. We're just gonna sand that, and our base, 2 coats are already been sprayed. All we have to do is spritz it with a top coat, and then we're done. And I'm so excited. Cannot wait for you guys to see our table, our Pottery Barn inspired table. Alright guys, our last step, and then the table is finally done. We are going to seal it with Armor Seal, oil, and urethane. I used an oil-based stain. Yes, you can wait 24 to 48 hours before you coat it with water-based top coat, but I've never tried this before, and so I decided that we're going to try it out together. It could totally be a flop, but at least we'll know, right? Let's start doing it. Kind of nervous. Oh well. It says to stir and get all the stuff up from the bottom, all the adhesive properties, and I can totally see why, because there are little white pieces in that's floating around or suspended into this liquid. So I'm not sure what those are, but I'm just trying to kind of stir, not too aggressively, but stir enough to get it all suspended in liquid. And it says just to use the old t-shirt, so that's exactly what I've got. Make sure my hair's not, my goodness, if it stays like that, it's going to be beautiful. So guys, I thought I would show you how I would style this table. So let's grab some things. Candle, and then something larger right here. There you go, guys. This is kind of how I would style it. And of course, I'm going to play around with it and probably change it up some. But I just had an old book laying around. I have this magnolia candle, one of my very favorite candles, and then just some china from my aunt, who recently gifted me some things. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video and last week's video of making the side table. For me, learning to build and redoing furniture, it's very therapeutic. And I hope with all my heart that I'm inspiring you guys too as well to make something special for your home or to redo a piece of furniture. That is my whole entire hope behind this video, behind my channel, is I hope to inspire you to create a space that you would love as well. Whether it's flipping furniture, redoing furniture, building something, redoing a room. I hope that this channel helps inspire each and every one of you. If you haven't watched the full video of making over the living room, of course I'll link that video as well as the first part of making this table so you can get caught up. For next week's video, we're going to be making over another room, but it's not the kitchen. It's going to be the laundry room. And I am so excited to do that. And guys, I have a new vlog channel that I'm going to be posting once a week on there as well if you want some more additional content. Those videos are all going to be behind the scenes and the thrifting and thrift hauls. So guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you're not a part of this family that we are growing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, please, and hit the bell notification for you to be notified the next time that I post a video. Bye guys, and I will see you next week. And I have a new vlog channel that shows all the behind the scenes and all the thrifting and the thrift hauls, and then more of Joe.
Go to the thrift store.